Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews. Have you ever wondered what games you should sell or you should use? Find out here at Purge Reviews. Find out on our top 10 list what games you cannot miss. Don't forget to subscribe to Purge Reviews.
What we have here today is Witness, which was a game I hadn't heard a lot about before I went to the table and played it. First thing that was kind of striking to me was the artwork, which I think is from the 1010 universe, which I don't know a whole lot about. There was a Steven Spielberg movie release. I don't know a whole lot about it, but it was kind of striking to me. I don't know why. I just kind of liked it. Not necessarily something I would get into. I don't read any comics, but it is what it is. It's based in the world of Blake and Mortimer. I don't even know what that is, but if you know what that is and you're a super fan, then this might interest you. This is a unique game, one I like. It's a deduction, crime-solving, storytelling game. It's really interesting how it has some illustrations in it where you're whispering to people and you have to remember the information in your head. And are they telling you what's important? Because we don't really know what questions are being asked yet. But you're given very limited information, so... and then you'll be given the facts after everybody gets done whispering, and then you have to individually figure out the questions, but you collectively get a score. So you're really only as strong as your weakest links, Links, which is interesting too. And it has 64 missions in it, and there's 4 different difficulty levels, and they can get really, really hard. I've stuck to easy most of the time. This is unique enough where if you're looking for... Now, if you've read my reviews or seen my reviews before, you know that I'm not a huge fan of storytelling games. Just for the fact they don't usually put a game in the box. It's usually the story. And I wouldn't mind a story game if there's a game attached to it. And while these stories are caged in around this cage of the mystery or what we're trying to solve, there is still a story being told through the solutions, if you will. Maybe not as epic of a scale like an Arabian Nights or something, but in a closed box kind of a story. But we're not providing the story. The game is providing the story. So you may give that explanation to me or not. Nevertheless, I found this to be unique. One of the things that's kind of tough about it, not so much for me, but maybe tough for you or something to think about, is you need exactly 4 players. You can't play with 3, you can't play with 2, and you can't play with 5. You need 4. So you're limited. You need 4 people who don't mind figuring out a crime. Some people will just hate this game, so you need the right players, which can limit when you can play it quite a bit. But when you get the right crowd, or people who are just willing to jump in and play... If you have 4, this can be a lot of fun. I could see a family doing this and having a lot of fun with it. My kids are still too young for this. But this is a hit for me. It's so unique that I don't... You know, something like Time Stories gets so much buzz, and why this doesn't get more buzz. I found this to be... This game to have more fun than Time Stories. Now, I've only done the first mission on Time Stories. I felt Time Stories a little bit redundant, like doing the same mission all the time. Where Witness, I was able to just get a new mission every time. And it plays rather quickly, about 15 minutes. Really, it's going to take as long as it's going to take you to whisper something. It's not very long. But I like this. And this is something I don't mind. I have a couple I play Sunday night games with. And I can just pull one of these out and do one mission at the end of the night just to, fool around and end the night if we have some extra time. So Witness is a good game. I recommend it. If you're not sure from watching this review whether you like it or not, try it. But... this is definitely going to be a keeper for me. I don't know that I would sit around and play like 10 cases in a row. But like to cap a night off, it's really fun. So Witness is a keeper.
Here are the components for Witness. You get a fairly sizable box. This is what the artwork is kind of look inside.
It's from some comic book or some license or property, but I have no idea what. Let's take a look here. You're going to get, and I'm going to do this spoiler free because there are spoilers in here. So you're going to get a number of books like this, one for each character. And when you open it up, it's going to give you a random page. You're going to get clues that are only you know, that particular character. And this game must be played with 4 people. And here's the 4th character. Then you're going to get a case book, which will give everybody some clues normally. So what the bad guy, I think his name is M, is doing. And there's some questions you'll be asked after you guys play the game towards the end. And then this will give you the solutions at the end. Each player will give a number of these like prescription pads, almost like a doctor would have, that you would write your notes on. There will be a stand-up. This just sits in front of you in case you forget who you are, and for some reason the front of the book wasn't good enough for you. And there's one for everybody, including the bad guy. And you'll get these, which will track who you talk to, and he'll just kind of move down to signify where you're at. And you get a couple different ones of these just to mix things up when you're playing. So you get like 4 different combinations. And then you get the rule book inside, which is it's the thinnest part of the game. So it's very, very simple. And those are the components for Witness. Everything is very high quality that you get. The books are bound very nicely. Very high quality paper. I like it quite a bit. Didn't give you anything to write with in it. You got to provide the writing utensil yourself, but that is Witness. The rules for Witness are really, really simple. They're barely there. The majority of the text is going to be in the clues, the solutions, and the questions. So the rules is not going to be difficult. The main rule is to stay within the feeling of the game. If you're whispering, make sure you can't overhear people, and that takes the fun out of it. Don't take notes until the spot where you're allowed to take notes. And you'll have a good time with this. You do need the ability to read, so younger kids are out. Someone who can try to figure things out or willing to kind of get into it and try to figure it out and not just punting. Because once again, you're going to be scored collectively, and that's important. But the rules are very clear. I like the solutions and the cases. They always seem to make sense. Unlike a game like Sherlock that I was playing where sometimes I felt like it was just out of left field. I had to dive in too hard into the game. This one I don't. They're there. And it can be very clever, but not impossible to figure out. And that's a compliment to the rules in the game. Describing how Witness plays without giving you spoilers is a little bit difficult, but basically the way it's going to work, each player is going to get a book, and we're going to be trying to solve a crime or mystery or something. When you open up your book, you will be given a little bit of information about it, and each player will give a little bit of information that hopefully through the gameplay will tie together. Now, after you got that information, you will take the bad guy down this track, and I'm picking this one at random. There's plenty of different ones. Let me see if I can explain. This guy, I'm going to tell him other colors. Blue will whisper clues to red. Green will whisper to yellow. When we're sufficiently done, then we move here. Yellow can whisper his clue and everything green told him to blue. And likewise with red to green. And now we're back. If you look, we're back where we started. So now blue can tell red at his clue again, and everything yellow told him from yellow's clue and everything green's clue. So theoretically, by this point, red has all the information. He has his own, he has what blue just told him, and he has what green told yellow from here, and what yellow told blue. So technically by here, he has all the information. Same thing happens again. At this point, technically, everybody should have all the clues. But it's whispering. The old game of telephone. Then, you take the notepad, and you can write down all your clues, and then you pull out the question book. And the question book will sometimes ask you questions you didn't see coming. Now, you will then write down your answers. They will provide 3 questions where you write them down here, and you go to the solution book and read the solution. What I found in my somewhat limited place is that the answers and clues do work together. This is something you should be able to figure out. But part of the fun is, Jimmy, you didn't do this. I messed that up, and they told you information wrong. There's a lot in your head. You can't take notes until you get here. That's the game. So you're trying to keep all this information in your head. And these rounds last as long as the people are whispering. But if somebody's whispering to you, you cannot ask follow-up questions. It's just whatever they whisper to you. And the fun is just going through these different missions. And there's quite a bit of different missions in here. I think there's 64 of them, so there's plenty to play with. Very fun game. Sure, it's a party-style game. The mechanics are just the whispering and the talking. There's not, strategic element here than that. And that's Witness. Who should buy this game? I feel like it will be for people who has a group of 4. And this is, like I said earlier, this isn't a game that you probably sit down and do 10 cases at a time. You want to play this over multiple nights, likely. Maybe do 1 or 2 a night. So if you're sitting down and playing 4 a lot, you figure maybe you have, at the end of the night, you have a certain amount of time to play 2 or 3 hours. And you routinely have 15 or 30 minutes left over. This might be something you want to break out and play a 15-minute game just to cap the night off, which is what I'm going to use it for. If you're unsure something like this would play, you can always try it out at a con or borrow buddies or something. But it's so unique that I don't know any other games like this that you may have fun just having this different. So you don't have to feel like, it's a worker placement game, and how many worker placement games can I really have? This is so unique. It's the only one I know of like it. It's not going to necessarily be for everyone, but it can fit a niche position inside of your collection. And when you see the flow of the game, you're going to know if you like it or not. But if I was to put this up and say, hey, this is a party game for 4, this is one of the better party games I've played. Deduction games, it's one of the better deduction games I've played. And storytelling, if you allow me that, it's one of the best, if not the best storytelling game I've played. So that's Witness, and it's a keeper.